Hey everybody, my name's Matt Baum, and many of you know me because I play music as Watch Out for Snakes, which is my chipwave project, kind of a mashup of chiptune and synthwave. But today, the reason why I'm making this video, which I haven't decided yet whether I'm actually going to share or not, is because I wanted to tell you all that I have something that's called atypical progeria. Now, I've known that I have had atypical progeria for a very long time. I was diagnosed with a disorder at birth. They didn't know exactly what it was, but this is something that I've grown up with all my life. They were able to actually diagnose it properly back in around like 2006. Um, but basically, what it is, um, you can kind of dissect things. Atypical progeria. So, people that have progeria suffer from advanced aging, which means that their bodies are aging at a rapider pace or more rapid pace than somebody that does not have the disorder. Um, the atypical aspect of it for me uh, is is that typically somebody who has progeria has a lower life expectancy. They generally do not make it out of the ages of kind of their teenage years, um, and the symptoms that they experience are very pronounced. I've been lucky enough in my life that, again, what I'm experiencing is an atypical version of progeria in which, I have experienced symptoms, but they have not been anywhere near what somebody that suffers from progeria has to experience in their daily lives. Um, Obviously, I'm coming up on 40 years of age this year, actually next month. So I've enjoyed a pretty long life up up until this point, and there's no reason for me to expect that I'm not going to continue living even longer. Um, the impetus for making this video is that one of the main symptoms that I do suffer from because of the progeria is heart problems. In my infancy, I was diagnosed with a heart murmur and have had valve problems since I was born. In around, I think it was 1993, I want to say. I I had been diagnosed with aortic stenosis. And basically, what that is it's when your aortic valve uh, is closed up too tight, so it doesn't allow blood to get through as efficiently or even at all. It's an issue. It basically causes your heart to labor a lot more than it typically would. And so, because I had aortic stenosis from birth around 1993, when I was in, probably around the sixth grade, um, it became severe enough where I underwent what's called a valvuloplasty, where they basically perform a catheterization. They stick a tube up a blood vessel in your groin, and they follow that blood vessel up to your aorta, and on the end of that catheter tube, there is a balloon that they can inflate once they have it at your aortic valve. Which, when they inflate the balloon, it pushes your valve apart, widening it to the proper amount. Um, but that's really only done as kind of a temporary measure to provide relief, kind of prolong the time until something a little bit uh, more invasive is actually required to fix the aortic issue. So in 2003, when I was graduating from college, I ended up undergoing open heart surgery. And the open heart surgery was to replace my aortic valve, which had begun to fail in that year. So, I was having trouble getting upstairs. It was really difficult for me to breathe. I had been on the rowing team at my college and had to withhold from, doing any other physical activities for that year, which was really difficult for me. But because I was relatively young to be undergoing an open heart procedure, the prognosis was pretty good from the outset. So that summer of 2003, I had my open heart procedure. Everything went well. My recovery was pretty quick. And then I was back in grad school by, the fall. So, relatively low impact to me, given the fact that I had undergone, an open heart surgery. They replaced my aortic valve with an artificial valve called a St. Jude's valve. And so because they used a St. Jude's valve, there's an issue where, blood clotting becomes a factor. Like if you have a St. Jude's valve, what can happen is, a clot could form at the valve and then travel through your blood system or your circulatory system to your brain and cause a stroke. And in order to prevent that, you have to take blood thinners for every day the rest of your life, which again, pretty low impact, like all things considered at the time, and still now. I am grateful that that's the only treatment that I've really had to worry about for a long period of time, basically since I was 21 up until now. Just basically being on a daily blood thinner has been the only thing that I've had to worry about. So I feel, really blessed that, going through that procedure in 2003 has enabled me to really have a happy life up until now. What's happening now is that, because the atypical progeria, it impacts more than just your aorta. It can impact your entire circulatory health. And so what I've been experiencing over the last couple of months, or sorry, not couple of months, couple of years, is a degradation in the function of my mitral valve, which is another major valve in your circulatory system. And your mitral valve, as your mitral valve function deteriorates, it can lead to fatigue. It can lead to a bunch of other symptoms, but that's something that is definitely a major concern. What makes working on the mitral valve more complicated in my case is that because I've had a previous open heart surgery before, opening me up again is an even greater risk. There's scar tissue that's built up there. I'm older than I was at 21. And so there's just a lot more that could potentially go wrong. And the recovery could be longer than, I was lucky enough to experience when I was younger. So an open heart procedure right now is a pretty risky proposition. The other thing that I have going on is, some calcification in my arteries. And, probably doesn't help that haven't really curbed my diet much from what people would normally eat over the last, 20 years of my life. But a large part of it is genetic. And so what I'm looking at right now is tomorrow I'm going to be going into Emory Hospital which I can't say enough for like the Emory healthcare system. Um, but I'm going into Emory Hospital where they're going to perform a catheterization. And this catheterization, unlike the one that I had in '93, is just going to be to get some more information. So because my case is fairly complicated, before they recommend any kind of treatment, the cardiologists want to make sure that they fully understand the situation that's happening. And really the only way that they can get an idea of what that situation is from inside my circulatory system. So looking inside the heart, checking out the valves, like within the heart firsthand, like looking at the, my aorta and the other blood vessels like in my body. It's going to give them more information to make a proper diagnosis, kind of confirm what they already believe, which is that I'm experiencing congestive heart failure, or I have been experiencing congestive heart failure over the last several years, and then allow them to come up with hopefully some treatment that will best get me on the road to recovery. I've been, again, like I said, very fortunate in that the symptoms that I've experienced really haven't been severe enough to where it's kept me from doing the things that I love. But it has been something that I deal with on a regular basis. One of the reasons why I was accelerated, or kind of accelerated my my musical stuff, was that in I think it was 2018, might have been 2017. I ended up having a stroke because I wasn't taking my blood thinners the way that I should have been taking them. It was stupid. I know this, but when you've been experiencing, luckily experiencing unfazed good health for a long period of time, you start to feel like you're invincible. You start to feel like, oh well, why do I even need to take this stuff? I can skip a couple doses here, a couple doses there. That turns into a month at a time, and then before you know it, you have a blood clot. It goes to your brain. You have a stroke. So I was lucky, very, very lucky, that when I had the stroke, that they caught it early enough to where they could give me a clot buster drug in the ER, and they were able to reverse the effects of like the clot starving my brain of blood. So I've, again, since then have been playing music, have enjoyed every minute of the time that I've had since then, and have felt again like I was given another second chance on top of the one that I'd already been given with the artificial heart valve in 2003. So many of you may know that one of the ways that I've been coping with a lot of what I've been feeling emotionally around my health, I've coped with that through actually making music. So Upgrade is about a lot of the health things that I've had to go through. Torn. The song title is a reference to actually getting torn up, like in a heart surgery, like an open heart surgery. Same thing with the cut. And Heartbeat, all those song titles, even Upgrade itself, it's in a reference to like the artificial heart valve that I was getting. So like, that has always been a part of why I make music, is because it's been therapeutic for me. And right now I'm feeling pretty optimistic. It's one of those situations where I'm not willing to start being doom and gloom until, that bridge is ready to be crossed, I guess. We still don't know a lot. That's why we're doing the catheterization. And so we should know more in like the coming weeks. So one of the main reasons that I didn't want to make this video, and why I still haven't decided whether I'm going to put it out on social media or not, is that I really don't want this to be doom and gloom. I'm not looking for, pity. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for any of that stuff. I really just wanted to share. I really just want to let other people know that may be going through similar hardships, that you're not alone, that, it's going to be difficult, but you have people that understand. And so emotionally right now, things feel a little bit heavy, but I do want everybody to know that I continue on planning on making music, and there may be some downtime here and there in the coming months as I kind of pull away a little bit just to kind of focus on my own health. But music is what gets me through it. So I really don't see myself stopping making music entirely. And the hope is that I'm able to get better enough to where I can get back out there once it's safe to do so again, and start throwing down with you and performing, playing shows everywhere. That's my true love. That's what I enjoy more than anything, is connecting with you all. But anyways, I just wanted to share to anybody who is going through their own trials and tribulations with progeria. My thoughts are with you. For anybody that has some kind of genetic disorder, my thoughts are with you as well. Anybody really who is going through their own physical hardship and you feel like you're alone, or you feel like nobody's going to understand, that you're cursing about like, why me? This sucks. You can't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I've been there. Yeah. But yeah, you're not alone. You've got me, at least, that is thinking about you. And yeah. So anyways, didn't mean to get heavy on everybody, but I really do hope that everybody is having a great day today, and that you take things to heart when I tell you, live each day and enjoy it, and just take full advantage. Don't let things just speed by. Treasure those moments, and don't put things off. Yeah. Anyways, thank you to everybody, and for those of you that watched all the way to the end, I appreciate you. Yeah, we're going to continue making music. We're going to continue pressing on. But, it's going to be, it may be different. We'll see how things go. But anyways, I love you all, and chat with you later.